The crypto market has already started to pick up since the holiday season. While Bitcoin has remained relatively flat, altcoins have definitely started to pick up, and we can see this across all metrics. Bitcoin dominance is going down, altcoins outside of the top 10 have been pumping, and everything is looking bright. So, does this mean that we should just throw caution to the wind and long everything? Well, not really. There is a little bit of a concerning pattern playing out on the Bitcoin chart. First, we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart, but more importantly, in today's video, I will be sharing with you the ultimate sector that everyone's been talking about to make insane gains in 2025. I will also be sharing with you one altcoin that I have been aggressively accumulating since mid-December. Let's jump right into the video. First, as we always start, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We can see here that Bitcoin has since had a nice pump since touching the range lows around 91.5K. Now, Bitcoin has been bouncing around these levels for quite a few weeks now. And if you remember correctly in my previous video, I said that I was shorting Bitcoin at around 99.5K, and I took a lot of profit around this level at 91.5K. But we have since bounced from this level. Now, it is absolutely imperative for Bitcoin to reclaim 100K and have a strong daily close if we are to see a huge bullish move to the upside. Because at the current moment, this is looking like a massive head and shoulders pattern, and it could get very worrying for Bitcoin if we can't break above this 100K level. That being said, we have been talking about this scenario several times on this channel during the holiday period. This is a very important level for Bitcoin to break. And if we don't break this level to the upside, I do believe that we could see Bitcoin below $90,000 around the 87K range. Once again, this wouldn't be cause for concern because as we've seen in previous bull markets, Bitcoin can dump 15, 20, and even 30% sometimes. So far from the range high, we have only really dumped 15%. So if we were to go a little bit lower, below $90,000 to the mid 80K range, that would be perfectly normal and should be seen as an excellent buying opportunity. At least that's what I will be doing if we go and revisit those levels. Now, while Bitcoin is in this pattern, we can see that Bitcoin dominance has actually been dropping quite a bit, fueling the altcoin market. Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, we can see here on this chart, got a massive pump to the upside. But it is fully my expectation that it will struggle against its bull market support band as it did several times before. A lot of people thought that this was the low for Ethereum against its Bitcoin pair. We pumped to the bull market support band only to get rejected and come lower. Now the question on everyone's mind is, will this just be a nice lower high before Ethereum Bitcoin moves higher? Or can we see Ethereum Bitcoin once again visit the bottom of this range around 0.031? Now, I don't think that Ethereum necessarily has to put in a new low against Bitcoin this cycle, but I will repeat what I've always been saying. For Ethereum to sustainably break to the upside against its Bitcoin pair, I think that the Fed will need to print money. So it is possible that in the next few weeks to come, if the Fed doesn't decide to print money, that Ethereum kind of just bounces around this area before moving higher into 2025. In the meantime, though, with Ethereum's strength, we can see that others, which are the cryptocurrencies outside of the top 10, have been performing extremely well. The previous market cycle high was around $500 billion, and we can see that last month we actually wicked in this area looking to break that all-time high. But we obviously got a massive rejection, and we can expect to see some resistance within this area. Now we're getting a nice green candle, and altcoins are obviously pumping massively. Now I know everyone is calling for a massive altcoin season this month, but we do need to be cautious because of the worrying signs back to Bitcoin. This does look like a very clear head and shoulders pattern, and I wouldn't be surprised if we come and revisit lower levels. Again, this is always why you should have some capital in the market and some capital outside of the market ready to scoop up these dips if they come. Now, this pattern doesn't have to play out. We could just break to the upside. And as I mentioned in my last few videos, if we consolidate above 100K, I do think it's entirely possible for us to go and revisit the 104K level next. And then after that, of course, we have the all-time high at around $108,000. In the meantime, I'm just sharing with you what this pattern looks like. And if you're looking for a potential long or short, these are the levels. If we make our way between 99.5 to 100K, I would once again consider another short on Bitcoin targeting the range lows. But if we see that the price action explodes to the upside past the 100K mark, and then we consolidate above 100K, that is where I would consider entering a Bitcoin long with leverage on weeks. As per usual, if you're looking to make any of the trades that I talk about on this channel, I would highly recommend that you sign up to Weeks, which is the first link in my description. You can earn up to $20,000 in bonuses just for trading as you normally would. I would highly recommend this exchange. So as Bitcoin is in this pattern, we'll just have to have a little bit of patience to see how it plays out. But in the meantime, I am eyeing one specific altcoin sector as well as one specific altcoin outside of that sector. Let's jump right into that. And let me just present you the sector like this. Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, says all in AI. And that is the exact sector that I am targeting for 2025. Now, there are tons of influencers in the space talking about AI tokens, and it sounds crazy to say this, but I honestly think that any of the top 10 AI tokens are solid and relatively safe plays for the 2025 bull market. But if you're a little bit of a degen as I am, you start looking into the lower market cap altcoins. And I'm talking sub $200 million market cap altcoins. The ones that I am specifically looking at in the AI sector are Node AI, Neural AI, Hash AI over here, and Palm AI. Now, of course, if you want to take a little bit of less risk and have exposure to the AI upside, which I believe will be massive in 2025, you can look into the bigger market cap AI coins. Now, my favorite ones with bigger market caps would be Near, Render, Virtual, and Tau. Now, I won't get into what each of these specific coins and projects are actually doing. I would highly recommend that you look them up and do your own research, but these are my top ones that I'm looking at for this cycle. There are tons of other creators in the space that do deep research into AI coins, one of them being Alex Becker, and he has mentioned a lot of these tokens, and some of them have yet to pump significantly. If you're an absolute degen, one of the biggest pieces of advice that I have would be to scroll at the bottom of CoinMarketCap and try to find solid AI projects with very low market caps. Obviously, those are higher risks, but we have seen massive growth in AI tokens in just a matter of weeks. So if you can catch the right one, you can potentially do a 10 to 20x in literally a month. Now, for the token that I have been accumulating heavily, again, I will bring you back to Pengu from Pudgy Penguins. I've said it once on my Twitter and I'll say it again. I honestly think that there's no reason why this project can't reach a $20 billion market cap this cycle. It's currently sitting at a $2.6 billion market cap. And since its launch, it had that dump because of all the airdrop holders, and now it's consolidated extremely well, even during the Bitcoin dip. We can see that the furthest that Pengu dipped down here was at the 2.4 cent mark. And now we're just moving much, much higher, already at basically a 2x from the lows. And I think that there is so much more room to grow. The team is amazing. The NFT collection is out of this world, and it's one of the best NFTs in the space, arguably the best. Plus, it's listed on basically all of the major centralized exchanges. I think that this is definitely one that you should be watching. And also, if you don't believe when I say that I've been accumulating this coin since its launch, check this out. Here is my Bybit account, and you can see on the chart, I have been buying this token very aggressively, and it is my intention to continue doing so. At the current moment, I'm happy with my holdings, but I will definitely be buying more, especially if Bitcoin dips into the mid 80K range. I mentioned on the channel before that when Bitcoin is dropping, that is the time that you want to look for coins that have been holding up very well. And Pengu is definitely one of those coins. Hardly had any significant dips. Obviously, the pumps were mitigated with Bitcoin dropping, and now if Bitcoin drops again, I do think that the drawdown will be much less severe for such a solid project. And just some advice, because it is a newer project, I typically refrain from using leverage with early projects like Pengu. The reason being is because there tends to be a lot of volatility, and there's still some airdrop holders that have not claimed their tokens and are looking to dump their tokens. So for me, those dumps are seen as amazing opportunities. But with those dumps, a lot of wipeouts occur. I'll just show you an example. So you can see that this is a nice chart here, and here are all of the times that I bought Pengu. But if we go on the 15-minute chart, look at this massive dump. Check this out. Huge wick to the downside. So if you're using leverage with one of these tokens, yes, I think it can perform well and you can potentially earn a lot more than if you were to just buy spot like I am doing, but you can also get wrecked when someone decides to just market sell a ton of Pengu tokens. So just some caution on using leverage in these scenarios. Make sure that with new tokens, you're a little bit more cautious when it comes to using leverage. And once again, if you're looking to accumulate Pengu or any of the other tokens that I spoke about in this video, most of them are available on Weeks, which is the first link in my description, one of the best exchanges in the industry. And they also have that $20,000 bonus that I alluded to earlier in the video. And we'll wrap up today's video with a little bit more Bitcoin talk. Now we can see here that Ali Charts is spotting the same head and shoulders pattern that I was spotting, except he is potentially targeting the 78K level if we break to the downside. For him, it's the same case where we need to close above $100,000 to invalidate the bearish setup. Guys, we can't ignore this pattern. It's one of the most significant patterns in trading. I'm not necessarily a short-term trader, but this is very much a longer-term setup. And there is some potential downside for Bitcoin in the upcoming weeks to shake you out before we move on much higher. It does pain me a little bit to see people way too confident. For example, we can see that this guy commented, "We will not see Bitcoin below 90K this year." Let that sink in. Guys, you need to be very careful with that kind of attitude in the market because it does have a way of humbling us all. That being said, if Bitcoin does have a strong daily close above 100K, I do think that altcoins will continue to rip to the upside, and they will rip even more when the money printer starts. That is really what I am hoping for in 2025, for us to get the altcoin season that we deserve. So Bitcoin is forming a massive head and shoulders pattern, but in the meantime, altcoins have started to pick up into the new year. I am extremely bullish on the AI sector, and I think that multiple AI coins, particularly the ones sub $200 million market cap, can produce some easy 10 to 20x in this bull market. Also, some of the larger AI market cap altcoins will run much higher from here. And the last thing, I have been accumulating Pengu like a madman, and I think that this coin could easily reach a $20 billion market cap this cycle because of all the backing behind the project. And that sums up today's quick video. It feels great to be back in the studio. As you can see, I'm probably a little bit jet lagged from my flight back from Canada, 9-hour time difference where I'm at now. But if you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.